Most SUVs aren't built to last. They're built to lease and break right after the warranty expires. Fancy screens, turbo engines, complicated electronics, and repair bills that never stop coming. But a few SUVs were engineered differently, not to impress reviewers, but to survive abuse, neglect, and time itself. These are the SUVs mechanics quietly respect, the ones that rack up 300,000, 400,000, even 500,000 miles with nothing more than basic maintenance. If you want an SUV that doesn't drain your bank account, doesn't live at the repair shop, and doesn't quit when things get tough, watch this entire video, because by the end, you'll know exactly which SUVs are actually built to last.
The Toyota Land Cruiser isn't just reliable, it's legendary. This is an SUV engineered for the worst places on Earth: African deserts, war zones, remote jungles, Arctic tundra, places where failure isn't inconvenient, it's deadly. Toyota built the Land Cruiser around one uncompromising rule: it must never fail. And you feel that philosophy in every single component. The ladder frame is massively overbuilt. The suspension is designed for load, not comfort headlines. The engines, whether inline-6 or V8, are naturally aspirated, conservatively tuned, and deliberately underpowered for their size. That's not a flaw, that's the secret. These engines run far below their mechanical limits, producing less heat, less stress, and dramatically slower wear. That's why 400,000-mile Land Cruisers aren't rare, they're normal. Even the transmissions are geared for durability, not quick shifts or sporty feel. Toyota chose thicker internals, lower RPM operation, and simpler control logic so the drivetrain could survive decades of abuse. And unlike modern SUVs drowning in fragile electronics, older Land Cruisers rely on proven mechanical systems that age slowly and fail predictably. Yes, the upfront price is high, but long-term, many owners spend less over 20 years than people do cycling through a single luxury SUV lease after another. This isn't transportation, it's industrial equipment that just happens to have seats.
If you want true Land Cruiser DNA without paying Land Cruiser money, this is the SUV most people completely overlook. The Lexus GX isn't just a luxury crossover pretending to be tough. Under the leather and wood trim, it's basically a Toyota Prado in a tux. That means a body-on-frame chassis, real low-range four-wheel drive, and a drivetrain designed for parts of the world where breakdowns are not an option. The naturally aspirated V8 is the real hero here. No turbos cooking oil, no direct injection clogging valves, no fragile hybrid components waiting to fail. Mechanics love the GX because it's old-school Toyota engineering at its best. Conservative tuning, oversized cooling, and components built with massive safety margins. The transmission shifts gently, the suspension is engineered to survive off-road punishment, and the axles and transfer case are famously overbuilt. And here's the secret sauce. Most GX owners never even come close to stressing it. Grocery runs, highway cruising, light towing. That's why seeing 250,000, 300,000 miles on the odometer is shockingly normal. These SUVs don't just last, they age slowly, like they were never in a hurry to begin with. The 4Runner exists in a world where everything else went soft. While competitors chased lighter unibody platforms, turbochargers, and fragile fuel-saving tech, Toyota stubbornly stuck to what actually works: body-on-frame construction, a naturally aspirated V6, old-school, overbuilt drivetrains designed to survive abuse, not impress spec sheets. The legendary 4.0-liter V6 is one of Toyota's most proven engines ever, known for tolerating extreme heat, questionable fuel quality, skipped oil changes, and years of hard use. By modern standards, this SUV is slow, heavy, and inefficient, and that's exactly why it lasts. Less boost, less heat, less internal stress. The 4Runner also avoids risky air suspensions, fragile CVT transmissions, and overly complex electronics that quietly turn aging SUVs into financial disasters. Owners regularly report 250,000, 300,000, even 350,000 miles on original engines and transmissions. It's not flashy, it's not exciting, but when everything else is broken, the 4Runner is still running, and in the long run, boring is beautiful.
The older CR-V is proof that reliability doesn't come from size or brute force. It comes from smart engineering. Honda built this SUV around balance, efficiency, and simplicity, not trends. The naturally aspirated four-cylinder engines are legendary for a reason. Regular oil changes, basic maintenance, and these motors just keep going. They rev high, but they're not fragile, thanks to excellent internal balance, strong bottom-end design, and cooling systems that don't get overwhelmed. And here's the key detail most buyers miss. Older CR-Vs avoided the risky stuff. No turbochargers cooking oil, no early CVTs slipping themselves to death. Confident, just proven automatics and manual gearboxes that last. The result? SUVs quietly crossing 300,000 miles while newer vehicles are already in the shop. Suspension parts are cheap, replacement components are everywhere. Mechanics know every bolt on these cars. This isn't an SUV built to impress strangers, it's built to show up every morning. Transportation without drama.
The Lexus RX isn't just dependable, it's quietly legendary. Toyota didn't build this SUV to win drag races or flex spec sheets. They built it for people who want comfort without consequences. The naturally aspirated V6 engines are smooth, overbuilt, and barely working at highway speeds, which is exactly why they last so long. No turbos cooking oil, no experimental tech pushed to the limit, just proven engineering done right. The automatic transmissions are tuned conservatively, the cooling systems are oversized, and the drivetrains are designed to handle far more stress than most owners will ever demand. Even the electronics, often the downfall of luxury vehicles, are refreshingly simple and durable compared to German rivals packed with failure-prone modules. That's why mechanics constantly repeat the same advice. If you want luxury without pain, buy an RX. These SUVs don't feel worn out at 150,000 miles, they feel broken in. Many stay in families for decades, passed down not because of sentiment, but because replacing them simply doesn't make sense.
Here's the truth most people miss. These SUVs did not make their reputation by chance. It was earned through decades of reliability and engineering choices. They avoided risky technology. They trusted proven designs. That's why mechanics respect them. Not because they're exciting, but because they simply refuse to die. If you already own one of these SUVs, now you know exactly where to look. If this video saved you money, show your support by liking, subscribing, and commenting. And remember to choose the one that never stops running.